So, midweek, midsection, final one of 2020. As ever, timer is ticking. We've got our 10-second lead in. We're going to start out with our squats. Standard, straightforward bodyweight squat. Here we go. Sitting down into it and coming up. Keeping the hands in front here. Just getting the legs warmed up. Not going down too low. Make sure that most of the movement is coming from the hips. So you're sticking your butt back or you're pushing your hips back and coming up nice and straight. So bringing the hips in underneath the shoulders every time. There we go. We're down to the floor. Hands to ankle. Starting out, right hand, left leg. Keep the shoulder down on the floor. Pulling with the lower stomach and the thigh. Trying to keep the leg as straight as you can. Toes gently pointed. Working on a little bit of flexibility in the back of the leg as we loosen up. And we're back up to our feet. Squats again. Going to go a little bit wider with the feet this time, toes pointing out. So I feel this a little bit more on the inner thigh. We get a little bit of a stretch there to come down. Try to keep the knees out. So when you come down to your low position in the squat, you don't want the knees to be buckling inwards like that. You want to keep them out. And there we go. We're down to the floor again. Same thing, other side this time. So it's left arm and right leg. Exhale as you reach up. Inhale as you come down. Good rule of thumb. Anytime you're opening up at the armpit or creating space there in the armpit, that's usually a good time to breathe in. And likewise, if you're closing down the space in the armpit, breathe out. There we go. Okay. Bringing in the hands this time as we go with our squats. Raising the arms up overhead. So we're back to our standard width for our squats. Not too wide, not too narrow. Goldilocks zone. Just right. Last 2 seconds. And there we go. Back to the floor again. I'm going to face this way just to change directions. Right arm, left leg. This time, taking the shoulder up off the floor. So we're crunching up using the upper abdominals as well as the lower. Taking our momentary pause at the top just to make sure you have control and that it's not momentum swinging upwards. Squats again slightly wider, toes pointing outwards towards the corners, trying to keep the knees open wide in that bottom position of your squat. Giving thighs a stretch. 5 seconds left here. Keep those knees open. And we're back to the floor again. Same thing. This time the left arm, right leg. Holding that top position for a moment. Just to make sure you're really recruiting the upper abdominals and to make sure you're in control. Keeping the head neutral. There we go. Round one. Done and dusted. Cheers. Round two, we're going to start off on the floor. And we're going to start out with our Pilates Tabletop. We got 15 seconds left here. I'm just going to get myself set up. So for our tabletop, remember, thighs are vertical up towards the ceiling, knees pointing straight up at the ceiling, shins horizontal. There is a buzzer, away we go. Get those legs lifted up. We're going to hold here. Print or press your lower back into the floor. It may help you to think of pulling down into the floor. It may help to think of pushing down into the floor. Printing into the floor. Whichever terminology works best for you, that's the one you keep in your mind. And relax down. It's midsection focus on the class, so we're back into this one again. In 3, 2, 1. We're holding here. Again, keeping that lower back pressed into the floor. So if you feel it lifting, pull it back down into the floor. Again, thighs are vertical here. If you're under a lot of pressure, pull the knees slightly towards the shoulders. If it feels too easy, pull the knees slightly farther away. And you'll hear my voice change as I struggle to keep my lower back printed into the floor. And relax. We're going with this again, but we're going to bring in some movement, one leg at a time. Come back up. Get those thighs vertical, back printed. Right leg only. Bring the toe down to the floor and back up. So we're keeping this right angle at the knee. All the movement here is coming from the hip. It's not coming from the knee, it's this joint, the hip joint that's moving. We're almost there, 4 seconds. Keep your back printed into the floor. And relax. Whew. Changing over to the other leg now in 3, 2, 1. Left leg only. You can keep your head down on the floor, or you can lift it up. Entirely your choice. If you lift the head, you're probably going to engage the upper abs a little bit more as well. We just don't want it to distract from the lower abs, lower stomach and pelvic floor. That's what's doing the work. Keeping that back printed into the floor and moving only at the hip. And relax. We're coming over onto our hands and knees. Next up is our bear hold. Lifting those knees just slightly off the floor. So we're up on the toes, up on the hands, knees just barely off the floor. Actively pushing your hands down into the mat. Keeps the core engaged and helps you bring in some of the muscles in the back as well. We've got 5 seconds left here. Legs are probably starting to burn a little bit right about now. Rest, drop the knees down. We're going to double up on this as well. 3 seconds, get ready, lift. So it's just that small little bit off the floor. If you come up an inch, that's plenty. If you can stay lower, half an inch, that's even better. So core is zipped up, like you're putting on those jeans fresh out of the tumble dryer. Keep your back nice and flat. Pressing the hands down into the floor for the last 2, 1. And relax. We're going to come up onto our feet again. Squat with the knee raised, bring the knee straight up. So we're going to stay on one leg. So we squat down, knee comes straight up and back down. Staying, bringing up that same knee each time. So using a line down along the side of the abs and the front. There we go. Almost done. Same thing, other leg this time. We squat down, knee comes up straight. Pulling with the stomach each time. And with the pelvic floor. The last 5 seconds. Almost there. Whew. There we go. Time flies when you're having fun. a sip. Next round, we're standing. It's a touchdown lunge. So as we step back for our lunge, we'll bring the fingers down on both hands and we come up again nice and quick and switch legs. So you can keep that back leg straight or you can bend the knee, whichever works. But we're going nice and quick. Up and down. Back on the toes. Coming up fully. Coming up nice and tall at the end of the movement. Gets the heart rate up a little bit. So same thing, I'm going to face the other way. Just to be looking at a different wall. I step back, come up. Again, you can keep the leg straight or you can bend it. That leg that's going back. Whichever one works better for you. Whichever one is easier on the knee. Kind of pressing the fingers into the floor. Whew, to give you that bit of a lift. We're down onto our sides. Head supported by the hand for our hip hitch. Nice straight line. Shoulders stacked one above the other. Hips stacked above the other. Small muscles here just above the hip bone. They come around and attach into the spine and the lower back. So this one helps to tighten up the waistline and strengthen the lower back at the same time. Coming around for the other side, same thing. Support the head, stack the shoulders, stack the hips, and lift. It's a small movement. If you're coming up high with these, you're probably rolling backwards onto your butt. Your hips aren't stacked. So make sure you're not coming like this. If you can get up that high, you've got it wrong. Nice and straight, smallish movements. We're almost there, 3 seconds left. Lovely. And going back to the other side again, we're going to build on that, and this time we're into our side V up. So, hand is on the floor. We start stacked, we roll back onto our butt, and now we come up high. Inhale down, exhale up. Perfect time to be getting these in between Christmas and the New Year. We won't say anything about the calories that have been consumed over the last week. It's all part of a balanced lifestyle. So you start off stacked, hand on the floor, roll back onto your butt, and now you come up high. Feet together, knees together, and you're levering using this hand on the floor. So you're pushing down into the floor. Helps you get the body up high. And front plank, high plank, straight arms. We're going to lift. Just holding here for 25 seconds. Actively pushing your hands down into the floor. Nice straight line through the body. Do not let the hips sag down like that. Keep the body nice and taut. If you're under pressure, stick your hips or your butt up into the air. It'll take the strain off your lower back. Almost there. We're going to do one more of those. Then we get another break. Get ready. Here we go. Lift. Core zipped up. Nice and tight, like a pair of jeans fresh out of the dryer. Zip. All those muscles you tighten up to get into those jeans. That's your pelvic floor and your lower abdominals, your core muscles. Transverse abdominals around the sides. Lumbar multifidus around the back. And of course your obliques as well. Jesus, I was yabbering on so much the time just flew by. Okay, time for a sip. 3 rounds done, 2 to go. We're going to be back up onto our feet for this one. So we're going to do a side lunge or side squat. Starting from the middle, stepping out wide, bend at the knee, come back up. We're going to stay on one leg. So that's what we're doing. Here we go. Stepping to the side, bending that knee, pushing back up to the center, and back out. So it takes a good bit of force, really pushing that foot down into the ground hard. We'll get 1 or 2 more in here. And I'll finish out the rep. Okay, other side, same thing. Get ready. And here we go. Step out wide, push. So it's a strong push. In this case, off my right foot. Really driving the whole foot down into the floor. So we're not just coming off the toe, not just coming off the heel, pushing the full foot down. Gives you the most power. Last one. Okay, and we're down onto our sides, onto the elbow, side plank. Get ready, elbow straight onto the shoulder, and we lift. We're going to stay nice and straight here, keeping the hip lifted away from the floor. We're going to hold it here, keep breathing steadily through. 10 seconds left. Feet together, knees together. Nice straight line through the body. Last 3 seconds. There we go. Switching over to the other side. Same thing. Again, make sure the elbow's straight onto the shoulder. Nice straight line through the body as we lift and pull that hip away from the floor. All the muscles along the underside here, in this case the left hand side, right from the elbow, or from the armpit I should say. Wow, don't know my armpit from my elbow. So from the armpit all the way down through to the hip, all those muscles there, nice and tight. And we're back up to our feet. We're going to do squats with alternating knee to elbow, quickly. So we come down quick, knee to elbow, other side. So actively pull with the core, use the breath, that short little sharp breath out helps engage your core muscles, and it punctuates every word. Same again. Get ready, here we go. So nice and quick. We're not too worried about the depth of the squat, more about the speed and the pull across the body that's coming from the lower core. Getting some calories burned off as well. Great stuff. We're down to the floor. Hip bridge is our next one. Feet in close to the butt, and we lift. Using the back side and the back of the legs. Pushing the feet down into the floor, or pulling the heels down into the floor. Whichever description helps you most, focus on that one. 2 seconds. Here we go. Next up, bringing the hands in underneath us for our crab or our high bridge. And we lift everything. Coming back down, just touch the butt and lift again. Head moves nicely along with the body to stay in a fairly neutral alignment. Fingertips are pointing outwards away from you. Help keep the shoulders nice and safe. Getting those hips as high as you can. Whew. And we're back down again. Hip bridge once again. Feet in nice and close to your butt. What? I don't believe it. Could that be round 4 over already? We better get a sip in while we have a chance. One round left. So we're going to start out with our hip bridge. And now we're coming into our crab. We're going to build on things from there. So get ready. 3 seconds left before our hip bridge. Here we go. Lift. Going a little bit faster than we did last time. We're trying to get a couple of extra repetitions in here. Don't sacrifice your technique though. Keep the hips up high. Pushing the heels down into the floor or pulling, whichever description works best for you. Feeling a stretch on the front of the thigh at the top. There we go. Crab next, or high bridge if you prefer that instruction. Same thing. We'll lift. Come back down. And I want you to really drive this time. So you're really firing the heels down into the ground. Pushing the hips up as high as you can. Most powerful muscle in the body is your backside. And that's what's doing most of the work here. So make the most of it. Really drive it up. There we go. We're back to our side V-ups again. So remember, you start out stacked, then roll back, and up we come. Levering with that arm on the ground to help you bring the torso up. We're almost there. 5 seconds. Squeeze in one more. There we go. And the other side. My weaker side. This is the one I don't like. But anyway, we'll get on with it. Feet together, knees together. You'll notice there's not as much jibber jabber out of me on this side. Dig deep, last 5 seconds. Okay, leg scissors is next. Bring both legs up into the air. And we lower down one. Reach up for the other, hold. And switch. Looking up at your toe, switch. Pulling with the arms in the back, switch. 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 Engaging all the core muscles. Upper and lower abs. Obliques, around the sides. Give the knees a hug. We're back in onto that one again. Get ready, legs up. Switch. 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 Again, keep the chin off the chest. Keep the legs up in the air, pulling with the arms and the back and the hamstring. Warm work. 5 seconds left. Give the knees a hug. We're coming into our seated balance next. So we're coming up. Take the feet off the ground. We're balancing. Toes pointed away from you lightly. We're going to switch the arms and legs. Left hand to the left knee. Right hand to the left ankle. And switch. So the hand goes to the knee on the same side. And relax. We've got another 25 seconds left. Same thing. We're up. We're balancing and we're switching. Abs should be on fire. It burns, it burns. Try not to hold on to the knee, just touch. Oh my God. Whew. Okay. Well done. You've survived round 5. As ever, take a couple of minutes, let the breath come back to normal, let the heart rate come back down. Don't operate any heavy machinery for a few minutes. And obviously, goes without saying, if you feel lightheaded, dizzy, faint, anything like that when you stand up,
activity completed.
Sit back down again. Wait for it to pass. You heard the lady, activity completed. Well done. Your final core work for the year 2020. Strangest year of our lives. See you soon.